Last week, I talked about the fourth industrial revolution and how it's sneaking into our jobs and our society already, from things like automated tills to robot vehicles. This week, I thought I'd talk about the human impact of that. Don't worry, I've not been replaced yet by a robot, although those times are coming, according to studies and according to futurologists, which is kind of what I want to talk about now, is us, humans, and how technology has affected us currently and how technology will affect us into the future. Because if there's any more kind of evidence about the fourth industrial revolution, it's social media and how that really has impacted society. Because it has changed the way we think. It has changed the way we vote. It has changed the way we look at things and research things and get our news from places. The future jobs for us all are going to be very, very highly skilled. So that means we've got to educate ourselves a lot more than what we are at this moment in time. And for you guys that are engineers, that are pioneering these technologies, that are in the forefront of them, you guys could back me up on this one and say there's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to do. And you look around your teams at the moment, and these teams could be 3-4 times the size of that to advance these technologies further into the future. They're doing it in the benefit of the human race. And I believe that is probably the best thing for progress. Other things to think about with these highly skilled roles is they're not just going to be in manufacturing and engineering. They're going to be in the medical sector, printing organs and doing some amazing things with surgeries and kind of technologies around that. That's some extraordinary stuff. But also in the energy sectors as well, creating energies that are not fossil fuel based, from solar all the way through to some sort of, I don't know, nuclear fusion or 0-point module or something along those lines, where technology creates zero carbon emission systems. And that kind of is the future that we're looking for at the moment, and that's kind of the future that we're going into. Because the future of technology and the future of the human race is going to be melded together, and we have to get on with that, and we have to work with that. So the thoughts of someone like Elon Musk and a few other people are suggesting that as technology comes out, it's going to make a large proportion of the society redundant. It happens in all kind of moments and generations within society, and we've seen it happen for hundreds of years. There will be a large proportion of society that will be made redundant. Sadly, I think sometimes automation and technology may replace certain parts of like local communities and stuff like that rely on certain manufacturers or certain local companies to provide them jobs. I mean, if they flip to automation, certain local communities, not just in the UK, but across the world, would be completely devastated by this. So that comes down to a couple of things. We either do what Elon Musk and a few other experts are saying, give a living wage to people so people can make better informed choices of their careers and their future, and thus helping the human race, or we continue down this route of, I don't want to sound like an anti-capitalist at the same time and kind of side with socialism, but as technology makes life easier and as things become cheaper and more advanced and help society more, then we are kind of moving towards a more socialist future. And that's why a lot of youngsters today tend to side with the Jeremy Corbyns or the Barack Obamas of the world, because they are visionaries to see that the fact that that's kind of the future. And whereas, I'm going to sound like a right political asshole here, the right is kind of still pushing this very old agenda of capitalism, but in a sense that it's kind of the 1980s capitalism and not the 21st century capitalism, because there's nothing wrong with making money, people. There's nothing wrong with making a lot of money through something that you've made and built and marketed out to people and everyone buys. That is a brilliant society to live in. But as that changes the way we live our world, we do need to look differently into how the world works. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Pop them in the comments below, and I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Bye-bye.